G'day Sonic Squad! You can say whatever you want about Sonic Forces as a game, but there is one good thing that the game offers, and that is customization. More specifically, customization for the custom character. I don't know if people really understood the benefits of having a custom character in a Sonic game, and I feel like this was a good move, marketing wise, to get people into buying and playing the game, especially with the target audience, which was for kids, and as we know, kids love to create characters, and there's no denying that you've probably done so in the past. The idea for a customizable character in a Sonic game wasn't recent, as Takashi Iizuka knows that the fan base, particularly in the West, are really into making their own original characters and have received artwork via fan mail over the past 20 years. Iizuka wanted to let people do that to some extent, but it wasn't only until Sonic Forces that Sonic Team had the technology to make this possible. And it seems that the idea was also inspired by other video game franchises that have character customization, such as the Dragon Ball Xenoverse series, MMOs like World of Warcraft, open world games such as Skyrim, and many JRPGs, just to name a few. And it's good to see that Sonic Team and Sega are continuing to make customization a staple in the series, as customization has been used in Sonic Colors Ultimate and Team Sonic Racing, and with multiple leak rumours informing of some kind of customization will be present in the upcoming Sonic Frontiers. But going back to Sonic Forces, this was the franchise's first step into custom character creation. Comparing to other games that dive into this feature, Forces is a bit basic, but is not too restrained in what you can create, giving you a selection of species, gender, hair, eye shape and colour, voice, body colour and clothing, which you unlock as you progress through the game by completing missions and tasks. Today I've been thinking about the different avatars and how each species have their own unique ability to assist you in gameplay, and how that benefits you in the long run. So in this video, I'll be going through each race option and determine what is the best one for you on your first playthrough. Think of it of like a top tier list video for a competitive game, even though Forces is the complete opposite of that. And now you're thinking, why am I suddenly doing a video on this when the game's been out for over 4 years? Because I can. Plus, I think it'll be a fun discussion video to talk about. No species is a bad choice here, but some do excel more than others at accomplishing certain things. Firstly, let's start off with the Hedgehog, probably the most selected race to pick upon the first playthrough, and I should know, because I did as well. The Hedgehog's unique ability is that any drop rings will remain longer after taking damage. What's interesting is that the Hedgehogs were originally going to be the only species to be able to pick up any drop rings. However, a day 1 patch changed that, allowing every species to be able to pick up drop rings, and thus changing the unique ability of the Hedgehog to make rings remain longer after taking damage. I can see why this was changed, as in the past playable characters that weren't Sonic or a Hedgehog were able to pick up drop rings with ease. So it makes sense. Now whether this was the cause for this change is to be determined. But going back to the unique ability, this is a really good ability to have, as rings can start at quite a distance, so having more time to recollect and bring your ring total back up is a huge plus. Personally, this ability best suits the race here, as it closely resembles what the Speedy Bluebird can already do. Also, it helps that our OC is just a bootleg Sonic that we purchased from a charity store for $2.99. The Hedgehog avatar is basically a watered down version of modern Sonic, just with no boost. But having drop rings remain longer helps ease the potential struggle of quickly accumulating rings back, and not have to worry about finding rings to get the ring count back up as you progress through the stage. Next off, we have the Bird Race, with its ability to perform a double jump. Now double jump is no stranger to the Sonic series, with double jumping first appearing in Sonic R without the need of a special item, like the lightning shield from the classic era games. And throughout, it makes a return in different entries. You would think that being a bird will give you access to fly, but nope. I guess the double jump is the closest thing to being able off the ground. Having a double jump is useful and does make platforming easier, and with that alone, it's the best avatar in the game, right? Well, not actually. Let me explain why. Now, in tag team stages, you get to control modern Sonic and the avatar by switching at the press of a button, mirroring the mechanic from the GOAT Sonic heroes. Modern Sonic has the double jump by default, which gets shared with the avatar as well as the homing attack, since they both share the same button function. But here where it gets interesting. No matter what species you picked, in tag team stages, they can double jump regardless with Sonic. And let's say you pick the Hedgehog avatar, theoretically you get to have 2 unique abilities, drop rings remain longer, and the ability to perform a double jump. So being a bird in tag team stages is kinda pointless, because modern Sonic already has the feature, and it doesn't feel unique for the bird race when the other races can technically perform it as well, thanks to modern Sonic. The bird avatar really got the short end of the stick here, so for that reason alone, The bird species is the worst avatar in the game. Going up the food chain is the cat species with their unique ability to being able to hold onto one ring after taking damage. Basically, it just means you won't end up having 0 rings when you get hit by any obstacle or enemy, where you can re-pick up rings basically immediately afterwards. The unique ability doesn't protect you from bottomless pits though, so keep that in mind. While it is pretty useful to not lose every single ring when you take damage, I don't think it's all worthwhile, mainly because there are rings everywhere through the stages, and if you do take damage, rings will be nearby you, if not close by, so you most likely always have more than a ring regardless. Unless you suck at playing video games, or Sonic games in general, just like an IGN reviewer. I guess the whole holding onto one ring is supposed to be an idiom of cats having 9 lives by surviving dangerous incidents numerous times. It would be dope if it was swapped for having actual lives, where you can take damage 9 times without losing rings, but that probably would be a little bit OP. But then again, lives aren't a thing here, so... missed opportunity, I guess? Overall, I think it's a decent ability, much better than the double jump, but not as good as the drop rings being around longer so you can pick them up. The next pet to pick from the list is man's best friend, the dog species. Now dogs have the ability to restart with multiple rings in possession after being knocked out with 0 rings or falling down a bottomless pit. Not real life dogs, though that would be pretty amazing. It's a good way to get a head start if you're focusing on collecting a vast amount of rings for whatever purpose you have to do so from a reset. It's like giving you another chance to continue on with rings already in possession instead of collecting them on your run. This alone doesn't change much gameplay wise, doesn't give you any advantage or anything else. Honestly, I would think it'd be better if the dog's ability were to gain additional rings after defeating enemies, just like some of the Wishbones that can enable that. To me, it would give the other impression of dogs digging up and finding some sort of a prize, as I'm sure dog owners can relate with their pet digging up in the backyard rather than just rewarding the player with rings after a reset. It's not a bad ability, but it's not a great one. It's okay. Still better than the lone double jump ability that the bird species have. Next off, we have the wolf species, which, like the hedgehog, is probably one of the most selected avatars since the game heavily promotes the avatar with the wolf race, and we cannot be original whatsoever, so we copy it as much as possible, like sheep. The wolves have the ability to magnetically draw in rings and extend the collection radius of collectibles. This is a really good ability to have, as you're a magnet to the metallic rings. It's like you constantly have the lightning shield on you 24/7, and even if you take damage, you won't lose the magnetism. This ability is pretty powerful as you can rack up a vast number of rings, even up to the max count of 999 rings in certain stages, making you feel like a god. Especially collecting so many rings will rack up huge bonus points to your overall scores and help you achieve that S rank. Even though Forces is easier to get S ranks in the first place. Not much else to say. Apart from this ability for wolves is pretty good since you don't have to go looking for rings, you only just have to be nearby them to attract them so you can focus on completing the stage in a fast manner. The rings will come to you as you are a king, right where you truly belong in your possession. So without a doubt, the wolf has the best ability hands down. Next off with probably the most obscure and unpopular choice, and it's the bear race. They can blow away enemies when performing the Y attack. This is basically a more powerful homing attack where it sends enemies flying away further and out of harm's way, putting some space between yourself and the enemy. It's like boosting into enemies from Unleashed, where you can send them flying out into the abyss and into other enemies. Bears are supposed to be strong animals, so having them blow away enemies is a great representation of the species, especially if you make your bear avatar look intimidating as hell. Honestly, it's one of the best abilities for the custom avatar, as it does change the vanilla gameplay a little bit by offering ways of approaching and attacking enemies into each other, destroying multiple in the process. And it's always a delight to see enemies fly across and through the stage after a homing attack and explode into others on contact. A really good ability for an underrated species, and worth giving a go. Finally, the last species on our list, and that is the rabbit race, in which their invincibility is extended after taking a hit, meaning you can take advantage of being invincible as you fight your way out of without any risk of getting hit again for a short amount of time. This ability basically encourages you to take advantage of the extended invincibility frames to be either reckless or get out of harm's way without being rushed to do so. I don't think this ability is that much useful, as it doesn't change much gameplay wise, unlike the bears and wolves abilities. You'll most likely forget that you even have the added duration of invincibility frames after taking damage, since you are used to the standard link from previous Sonic entries and are well adapted to it. Perhaps a more suitability for the rabbit would be speed orientated, as rabbits are known to be fast runners, so it could work either by collecting rings will give you a speed boost for a short period of time, as you don't want to be so fast that you have no control over and run into hazards without being able to react. Or, after taking damage, you still have those invincibility frames, but you also get a speed boost to quickly get out of harm's way for a short period of time. The latter could be also abused for speedrunning strats, but hey, speedrunning is fun, going fast is fun, being the fastest Hedgehog is fun, so why not make it fun? But yeah, the vanilla ability for the rabbit race, it's alright, but it's not as important to have. Now, if we were to rank each race with the ability, it would be the wolf as S rank, Hedgehog on rank A, as well as the bear, the dog and the cat and the rabbit with a B rank, and lastly the bird with a measly C rank, just existing there. And there we have it, folks. The wolf is the best avatar to pick on your first playthrough of Forces, while the bird is left to be desired. Obviously, afterwards you can create multiple avatars and get a unique feel of each ability, but why would you do that when the wolf is clearly the best option here? Now, I would love this concept to return into a future Sonic game, where creating characters is part of the game, but improved and expanded on. Here, it was a test to see what they can do, and now they can use that knowledge to expand the creativity and give players way more variety to create unique OCs around different races, outfits, and experiment with more unique and different abilities between each race. Will it happen? Who knows? They haven't dropped the idea of customization, but whether they will return to make us create new characters is up in the air. Let me know down in the comments on whether you agree, and if not, what do you think is the best avatar in the game? I look forward to see what you think. My name is SuperSaiyanSonic, and thank you so much for tuning in.